Kia ora. Hello, I'm here with Allan today. We are just talking about the PKD IMPEDE trial, and I'm the National Coordinator in New Zealand, and talking to Allan, who's our wonderful patient partner.
Well, thank you, Rachel. It's good to be here.
Great. And so, can you tell me how you first heard about having problems with your kidneys?
I first found out that I had real problems was back in '96 when I had been kicked out of Auckland Hospital with kidney stones and told they will, it's renal colic, it'll pass. But 12 hours later they weren't, and I ended up in Waikato for 6 days where they decided to go on in. But on the first day in hospital there, they sent me to get a scan, and the radiologist replied to the specialist, "How do you bloody expect me to see them? He's got polycystic kidneys." And from there, I asked the question what it was, and the doctor was very good at telling me and explained, and said that when I got back, I would need to go and see my GP and start doing preventions for what was going to happen, especially the blood pressure and a few, and the cholesterol and a few other things like that. So that was back in '96, and the journey continued along, but not much happened until about 2015, when it was getting down. So we went and got onto the diet, and then I was invited to Dunedin to go through a presentation in regards to people with kidney problems, and there was a good group of us who went up with us, and we found out things that we hadn't known, and that was really the real start of the journey. And then in November 16 I had the fistula put in, and then in 18 I was asked what I wanted. Did I want PD, or if I wanted the hemo? And I thought, well, PD at that time would suit me better because of taxi driving, but that only lasted 5 weeks because I was drowning, and they said it's not good for me. So they sucked the fluid out and tested it and found that it was from the PD fluid, so they immediately stopped that, and that was the 31st of July of 18, and then they whacked on the 1st of August. They put me. I did my first dialysis. Now I didn't take much notice. All I did was just lay there, and as they did the ultrasound to find where to go in and everything else like that, and from there on it just eventuated. But going back a little bit, at about the 16 mark, Sue was introduced to the president of the Southland Kidney Society. So I became involved there along with Sue, and that was good. I learnt things from people who had been through it, and also I shared what I was doing, and which turned out in some cases to be different. But at the same,
wonderful to have that community, isn't it?
Yeah.
Other people who've experienced the same thing.
Yeah. And that's what sort of got me onto trying to help others out. And
was that when you started to hear about research that was available?
That was a little bit before that still. That was at the time when they were having times when they were the what was it now, being a teaching hospital,
right? Yes.
Right. They would always ask, could they come and have a look and check on this, be with. And I said, yeah, look how else are they going to learn?
Yeah.
So
when people were learning about kidney health and kidney disease as part of their medical training, you would be a volunteer to have extra people talk to you.
Yes, and at times I was even part of the examination that they do, the short and the long, and so that was done a couple of times, and then I went on to hemo after 5 weeks, as I said, and it was from there that whenever I could help, I did.
Yeah.
But the real thing came. Mike Campbell of Kidney Health came down and asked if I would join them for a gathering up in Wellington, and so I said yes, but COVID came in, so I had to do the
that impacted
Zoom.
So many things.
Yeah, so Zoom came in.
So you become an expert being on camera.
Yeah. So from there we discussed different things about different way things were being done, and I was interested, and from there somehow AKTN got in touch with me.
That's the Australasian Kidney Trials Network.
Yeah, and
they're based
in Queensland at the university. Hayley Chandler.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's right. They gave us a 16-page booklet.
Yeah.
To have a read of.
Yes.
And I looked at it, started reading, and I said, brain fog. It was too complicated.
Yeah.
And if they wanted people.
Yeah.
To come on, who were the ones that were actually taking part with the kidney disease.
Yes.
They needed to bring it down for all levels.
Yeah.
Not just keep it for the higher.
Yeah.
And it was for that reason I saw that they had the levels of education, and of the lower levels the numbers were very few.
Yes.
But as the more education they got, the more that came on. So they were having ones doing the trials that had their PhDs, etc. Right. So that was good.
Yeah.
But you wanted the ones at the lower level because they lived a different way.
And what I'm hearing you talk about is to be able to make research accessible to people, make it user friendly, make it demystify it, to make it simple. And one of the things we have to do to be responsible for letting people know about research is give them information. And so we always give people a participant information and consent form. And what I hear you saying is, it's too big, it's too long, 16 pages, medical words.
Yeah. And they were even going into about 3 or 4 pages of explaining how secure the information was going to be. By that time, they've put it away.
Yeah.
They're not interested.
Yeah.
Because that is the door to the research.
Yeah.
And if they don't open that door because it's too complicated, and they'll think that that's the way it's going to be all the way through.
So why do you think research is important for people to be involved in kidney health?
Because in the last 30 odd years, from what I've seen and heard, there have been developments. I mean, I was told that my father had PKD, but he was never on dialysis. All he had was some diabetes, but I never heard about it. The family didn't tell me that it was hereditary or anything, and it wasn't until 2 years after he had died in '96 when I rang Mum and said that I had it, and she said, "Oh, your father had that." I said, "Yeah, nice."
So there were things treatments your dad could never get
Yeah,
because it wasn't known about it.
yeah,
And research helps people and helps medicine develop so that
it
people
does.
can have better treatment.
It
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
And the more we can do, and that way too, it would also help. For instance, my children, if they had PKD, but to my knowledge, having been tested,
Yeah.
they are clear.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop me from wanting to help others, because this is how our advancements come, by people doing things. So you've got to get the people in on the ground floor. Don't make it complicated. And this is what happened with AKTN. I was working with Laura Robson. Yeah, and we had a discussion about it, and I said, look, give it to them in sections. Give them the first couple of pages and draw diagrams or whatever, or even do a video of it. And then when they come for the next session, give them a little bit more information instead of them having to take it all in at once.
Yeah.
And diagrams help.
Yeah, and diagrams do help. And what we're doing with the IMPEDE-PKD trial in New Zealand, so it was started in Australia and now it's here, and so you're working on the Australian version and now you're supporting the New Zealand version.
Yeah, which has actually been good, because Swatonia had, when she first invited me on, I discussed the same sort of thing, and she came up with that lovely video about the people being asked and about talking about it in a video.
Yeah, and an animated cartoon videos, so
very simple,
easy.
and it's got, some of it's got subtitles, and all they've got to do is show them where to go, and keep it simple like that. And if you make the whole process like that, then and it helps. Don't get overcomplicated, because you lose people if they're not quite up to there. But again, we want everyone to get the benefits, not just the some. And again, if you can get the lower ones, they may pick up on such things as diet, as well as exercise and other stuff like that, because they're knowing that something's being done, and they pick up from other people talking.
Yeah. So in this study, we're wanting to test out metformin to see if it will help shrink the polycystic ovaries. Sorry, ovaries. I said ovaries. It's my brain. I also work in women's health. And I said polycystic kidney disease. With the cysts.
PKD is easy.
PKD. That's why we say PKD. So we want to see if that makes a difference. And what I hear too is, if people don't want to be part of the research, that particular study, there's lots of ways they can be involved, like you have been. There's other community groups like Kidney Society, and there's other research going on. There's ways to assist on the research like you're doing without actually being in the trial. So we welcome all of that.
And the other thing is, because I've been involved with I got involved once I got involved with IMPEDE, I got invited up for the conference in 23, which I then met up with Amanda and Anastasia and Jasmine in regards to beet CKD and also kidney bites. And I've been involved now with them, and I'm now involved with PKD Australia. And I would like to see PKD New Zealand being done. It is, but it's only on Facebook. And that isn't me. I don't do media. So I get cut out of that, so I don't know what they're up to. But I'd like to be involved, and I've told them, but
well,
it hasn't come back.
Let's see if we can find other ways.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
is it, before
so
we finish, is there
yeah.
anything else you want people to know?
Well, it's up to everybody to contribute where possible, even in the smallest of ways, if it can help the future generation. And it's not just with PKD either, it is with the other forms of kidney health. And also to make other people who may not have kidney problems to have an understanding of people who have, and that way the ones that have got kidney disease at times are a bit shy and reserved about going out, about talking about it, and thinking that they're at fault. They're not. They need to be able to come out, and that can help them as well by them being involved and not becoming recluse, which some of them do. And it's a shame.
Okay. Thank you so much.
That's all right. And I'm looking forward to our next Zoom.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Right.
What do I do now?
Just press it again, and the numbers should